Hey, Shalom. This is the Isupk Milwaukee coming out of 1 West Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with no other Israelite group, period. I'm Officer Kananya. It's Monday. Oh, Salaki. Hold on. I had to turn the thing on. Now you down, fella. Salaki. Phone's on mute around here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do that again. It's really interesting. Shalom, Israel. This is the Isupk coming out of 1 West Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with no Israelite group, period. I am Officer Kananya, coming at you live out of Milwaukee, out of the Milwaukee School under Captain DeBar Moff, raising up the Midwest like no other, man. And today we're going to be learning about some history. We're going to be learning about our people and what's going on with them mentally, psychologically, you know what I'm saying? And also, we're going to be breaking down scriptures on how the scriptures pertain to us and how they coincide with what's going on today. And the first scripture I do want to start out with is Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 2. Let's go there. Because this is the number one thing that plagues Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It ain't the number one thing. I say it's like top 5. It's one of the top 5 things that plagues our nation. You know what I'm saying? On just the simple things, how to put things down, how to move on from old things, how to change your life, how to change and transform from your old self into your new self. This is one of the things that prohibits us, and this is one of the things that, you know what I'm saying, just stops us from progression. You know what I'm saying? Because when people hear the truth, you know, I watch Isupk videos from everywhere. Indianapolis, Chicago, Detroit, San Antonio, Houston. When people hear the truth, they often reject it because why? Why do they reject the truth? Because they've been raised up on lies their whole life. So once they hear the truth, it's foreign to them. It's something that they can't get behind, like they got behind these lies. The most simplest lie, if you pray over pork and shrimp, crab, and lobster, then it's all right to eat. That's a lie. Another simple lie. Jesus was born December 25th. Jesus was white. These things are the most simplest lies that most Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have been grown up under. Just total lies. So once they hear the truth, it's foreign to them, and they automatically want to reject it because they've been brainwashed by the lies for 10 plus years, or since they was a child. They've been taught these lies by their pastor, teachers, friends, and even their family, like their mother, their father, their aunties, uncles, people older than them who's supposed to teach them the truth and teaching them lies. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Lord in Christ, Officer 1K Rapayala. What's going on, brother? Long time no see, man. You know what I'm talking about? But anyways, yes, they've been grown up. They grew up on the lies of the world, the lies of the so-called white man, because that's one thing the white man's going to do. He's going to push out these lies and get our people to get behind him and back him up on his lies and on his BS. Because the truth haven't, like, say if you've been hearing the truth all your life, right? All the way up until you was grown, about 24, 25, you know what I'm saying? A lie is going to be foreign to you. Like, you're going to absolutely be able to identify a lie when you hear it. It's just no logic in a lie. Like once a lie be told, especially by someone you trust, whether it be your friends or somebody, they have to uphold that lie and keep piling lies and lies upon it to keep making it seem true. But once you learn the truth and somebody try to tell you a lie, then you automatically know how to, you know what I'm saying, identify that lie and put it to the side because you already knew the truth. You know what I'm saying? Say you've been taught lies. That's the same thing with if you've been taught lies your whole life. Once you hear the truth, you know what I'm saying? The truth sounds way more complicated and difficult if you were taught lies your whole life. But if you just look at the truth that's being said, if you just break down the truth logically, you will realize that the truth is the truth the whole time. This lie was just compounded to tear down that truth. You know what I'm saying? That's what the UPK is. The UPK is the truth. So anybody other than the UPK is spreading lies. You know what I'm saying? These fake Israelite groups out here, they're spreading a bunch of lies, you know. And I can't tell you lies that they talk because I don't listen to them. I only listen to the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and like I said, man, some people within the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, you know, some people just comfortable with the lie. You know what I'm saying? Because once they hear the truth, they fight that. And for the life of me, I can't understand why. It's something different that you should look into that somebody else is saying different. That's the absolute truth. But you're too busy being comfortable in a lie. You know what I'm saying? That's also a sign of like laziness. Because when somebody tells you a lie, you just believe a lie off top, and you don't want to do the research yourself. You don't want to go open up a book. You really don't want to open up the Bible. Which that should be if you say you're a man of the Lord or a woman of the Lord, you spiritual and all of this, you should want to know what the actual Bible says about being spiritual. When it actually says the law is spiritual. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a spiritual person without following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. Thus saith this Bible. The Bible said that. Let me get that. Matter of fact, before I get Isaiah chapter 65, let me get that. The law is spiritual. So, like, you bear with me 1 second. Yes, sir. Romans 7 and 14. Romans 7 and 14. Let's go there real quick. The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 14. Don't let me down now. The book of Romans. Romans chapter 7, verse 14, y'all. That's where we headed right now. Okay. Book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 14. Let me see. We're going to start at 14. The book of Romans we're going to start at 13. The book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 13. Shalom, y'all. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Alatah Bashim Yahshua. Nazam and Shalom, y'all Bashim Shukata. To Rapah, that's you still Rapah. But we just going to break down, you know, how people be saying, oh, I'm so spiritual. I believe in a higher power. I don't follow the Bible, but I know that there's a higher power out there. Yet the person that's telling you this is smoking cigarettes. The person that's telling you this is eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. You can't be spiritual unless you are following the law, statutes, and commandments. This is where we at right now. The book of Romans, chapter 7, and verse. We're gonna start at 13 and 14. That's where we at right now, because you know I often hear that from a lot of women, as a matter of fact, that's outside of the UPK. They be like, well, I don't believe in the Bible. You know why they don't believe in the Bible, right? Because they want to live lawless. They want to live how they want to live. And that's not, according to the Bible, that's not how you're supposed to live. You're supposed to have rules, structure, discipline about your life. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, that's how the so-called white man got y'all thinking that mentality. Do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And doing what you want to do, that breaks up a lot of homes. Because imagine if a man, right, has a family, right? He has a wife, kids. Imagine if he just do what he wants to do. It'll be total chaos within the home. Then that trickles down to the wife. Now she want to do what she want to do. Chaos going to breed more chaos. When in the ISUPK, we absolutely know not to do what we want to do, because what we want to do is, that other thing, which is rid the world of the devil, the evil spirits, the negativity that's plaguing our nations, that's causing us to separate from each other. We want to get rid of that. We want to come together as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If we was to actually do what we wanted to do forcefully, it'll be chaos. Therefore, you have to live by the law, statutes, and commandments. In other words, in the white man's words, rules of the Bible. We don't look at it as rules. We look at it as being spiritual, as trying to live the righteous way. There's no other way other than this Bible. That's why I'm saying I hear mostly women say, well, I'm spiritual. I'm a spiritual person. And they got crystals and burning sage. And none of that stuff is spiritual at all. Actually, burning sage is, if I'm not mistaken, either an East Indian or Arabian custom. Burning sage. Nothing spiritual about burning sage. Or having crystals and doing yoga and all this old nonsense that they got going on out there. None of that is spiritual at all. And I know that's hard to hear, because like I said, we was bred up and taught so many lies coming up as young children, young kids, to preteens, to teenagers, to being grown. We was taught so many lies that once you hear the truth, it's hard to see that. It's hard to picture the truth. It's hard to it's just hard to get on board once you first hear the truth. But once you hear the truth for the first time, it's always going to be in the back of your head. Well, they said this. Well, they said this, and then they actually showed me this in the Bible and what was going on today, which is what's going on today. Like I said, like we about to break down, how so many people say they're spiritual. Well, I'm spiritual. Yeah, they got a cigarette burn. They're smoking some weed somewhere. Talking about that makes them even more spiritual. Boy, that's a demon. Being under the influence of weed, of any kind of drug, is a demon. Did you know that? I don't think y'all knew that. Because why? Smoking weed, being under the influence, being high, it makes you rebel against the Most High. And then when I say the Most High, I don't mean drug type of Most High. I mean, he's above all. The Most High, Yahushua, man, woman, children. Being under the influence makes you rebel against this book. Absolutely. Because you think you can do it's a hallucinogen. It makes you think you can just do anything, be anything, all that type of deal. It's reckless. It tears your mind up, your body, and your spirit. You might as well say smoking weed is Illuminati. You want your mind, soul, and your body. Facts. Facts. It makes you rebel against the Bible. Being under the influence of any drug is like a demon on you. Because why? It's a hallucinogen. First of all, any drug, it's a hallucinogen. because you not yourself. First of all, it makes you rebel against the rules of the law, statutes, and commandments. Second of all, third of all, you got other people that's under influence right along with you, who, like I said, it's a demon. So their demons telling your demons, man, the Lord put this here for us to smoke. The Lord put this here. It's a plant. That's their favorite thing. It's a plant. Well, what's the demon's number one thing to make evil seem good? They try to make it seem logical. Well, the weed is put here for me and you. It grow like that. It grows like that. And not only that, they get they celebrities and musicians to push the weed, which is an even more bigger demon. How many of y'all ever seen Spawn, the movie Spawn? Like the movie Spawn, right? I know it's a fictional character, right? But when Spawn was burned alive and he went to the, like, we all know that hell ain't somewhere underground, right? But so I'm just breaking down this movie. But when he got burned alive, he went to hell. And he was talking to I guess the head demon down there or whatever. He was talking to the head demon. The demon said, I want you to corrupt and bring as many souls down here as you can, right? That's the job of a demon. To steer you away from this Bible, to steer you away from anything that got to do with being separate, being a separate nation, being above all people. Like it goes on and on, listening to your husband, not sleeping with the next man's wife, not smoking, not eating the wrong things. The demon's job is to get you to say, well, this is to get you to question that. Well, why would he put the pork here if we can't eat it? Even though it's millions of other things that's lawful that you can eat, delicacies like lamb. We're just gonna start to stay at lamb. Lamb should be a delicacy, not shrimp, crab, and lobster. A lamb chop. And if you actually go in the grocery stores, you will see that a lamb chop it costs way more than some shrimp, crab, and lobster. That's because it's way healthier and it's lawful for you to eat that. You know what I'm saying? So where I was getting at was the law is spiritual. So anybody that try to get you to do like tarot readings, reading your future, voodoo dolls, yoga, like I said, burning sage, what else? Crystals and all these crystal joints, and that's just the physical thing. The thing that they talk, oh, I'm spiritual. I believe in the higher power, just not the Bible. On top of that, the person that's telling you that they're spiritual, they smoking cigarettes and weed. You not spiritual. You hallucinating, bro. You're under hallucinogenics. In the scientific world, you're medicating yourself. You've diagnosed yourself with being schizophrenic. What else? Like these terms that men and women be scared to go to like a psychiatrist or a doctor or seek help for. They diagnose themselves with it, even though they are not professionals of picking their own. You can't pick your own brain and diagnose yourself to be something. Somebody else has to evaluate you and determine, well, this is this, and this is this. So the conclusion is I diagnose you as blah, blah, blah. That's how you get diagnosed. If you're an alcoholic, if you're a drugaholic, if you're a social media holic, yeah, that's a new one right there. A social media holic. Meaning, man, and it is a drug. Because like I said, man, and then I'm going to get into the scripture after this last story. Like I said, man, you know how you're considered a drug addict or alcoholic if you wake up take a drink, or you wake up, smoke some weed. You can't go through nothing throughout your day without smoking weed or taking a drink. That's being an addict. That's being a alcoholic. So why is social media any different? You wake up, you check social media. You wake up, you post on social media. You wake up, you check a few different apps. On your lunch break, oh my God, you scrolling. It's just terrible, man, that they don't consider that to be an addiction, but it really is. And I was just talking to my rib about this the other day. So I was born in the 90s, right? Y'all remember back in the day, right? And I know I always take y'all back in the day. I'm gonna have to reiterate that in the title too. But back in the day, y'all remember pictures used to be private. Like that used to be like in high school, middle school, 7th, 8th grade. If a girl liked you, she would give you a small, like one of them small pictures of herself, professional pictures. She would give you a small picture of herself. That's private. Everybody couldn't just go somewhere to see every picture you've ever took. Little do you know, that's people collecting data on you, making AI more prevalent. The more pictures you take and put on social media, they getting your facial rec. You know what I'm saying? And that could just be the conspirator in me seeing that, but that's facts. Pictures used to be private. You only was able to see my close pictures, my baby pictures, and you know that's a thing too now. People post their baby pictures all over the internet for the world to see. Like that stuff's supposed to be private. It's supposed to be a privilege to see you, you know what I'm saying, as a youngster. But nowadays everything all in the open. People even do crime, which is funny. This new generation is so funny. They'll do crime and then post it on the internet like it's nothing, and be wondering why they going to jail. Be wondering why they getting cuffed and put in the back of a police squad car. Wondering why they getting charged certain offenses and certain things. You put it all over the internet. You literally show the crime on your page, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and now you surprised that the police is come knocking at your door, asking you about this crime you've committed on the internet for millions to see. No, let the algorithm catch your video. It's really gonna be plastered in all 50 states and some overseas. But like I was saying though, back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Pictures, what else? Your talents, just certain things were private. You will only be able to see that if we were dating, if we were going out on the dates with each other. If you would come over to my house, I cook for you. I come over to your house, you cook for me. Those type of things were private and cherished. Now you could just go on anybody's page and see all they behind, see them in the bathing suits, see them committing crimes, see them fighting, see them smoking some weed. Like they actually post themselves smoking weed. Which I can't for the life of me, man. You actually, what you doing when you post yourself smoking weed, you showing the world that you're an addict, a drug addict. Slocky. But back to what I was saying, man. Romans chapter 7 and verse 13. We're going to break this down. Well, we're going to start at 14. No, we're going to start at 13. This is the book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 13. Hold on. No, we're gonna start it. We're gonna start at 11. Oh, we're gonna start at 12. The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy. The law is holy, meaning it's separate from this world, who tells you you can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? They plaster everything. The women musicians tell you to dump a man and go on to the next man. To take a like back in the day, the men used to rap about taking your girl, but nowadays women rap about taking your man from you. Like it's reckless. When they say taking your man from you, they don't stay with that man. They do their business and go on to the next man. They straight ran through. But this book says the law is holy, meaning separate. We have to separate ourselves from them people that believe in that. You could just go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. We have to get away from that. You know what I'm saying? Not only is the musicians telling us this, you got talk shows, The View, full of women or I don't know if they single or not married, but they show talk like it. We have to be holy from them people. Holy means separate. This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. We have to be separate from that. From anybody who's saying you could just go from relationship to relationship to another relationship to another relationship. That stuff should be left out our sight, because when we see something, then we start to think it. We shouldn't be looking at things like that for entertainment purposes or whatever. You know what I mean? Because it gets in our psyche. We have to be separate from that. When it says the law is holy, it's separate. So we have to separate ourselves from that behavior. If we want to come out of this captivity, if we want to live righteously, if we want to see our kingdom raised up, we have to separate from that stuff. Being ratchet, being feminine as men, being masculine as women. Going from relationship to relationship. We have to start learning how to build relationships. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just putting it down. That's a sign. That's a sign of laziness. And lazy is a demon. Like, it's so many demons out here. Being lazy is one of them. You know what I mean? It says, wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. Verse 13. Was then that which is good made death unto me? Meaning, if it was good back then, will it make death happen to me? This is the question that they're asking. Let me go back. Let me see something real quick. Bear with me real quick. Israel. Yeah, so this is Paul asking. Was then that which is good made death unto me? Meaning, if it's good, will it make death upon me? This is what Paul is asking. And then the next line says, God forbid. Meaning, no, no, nigga. If it's good, it won't make death to you. If it's, it says God forbid. Meaning, if it's something good to you or good for you, it will not make death happen to you, right? And then he goes on to say, but sin, that it might appear, working death in me by that which is good, that sin by commandment might become exceeding sinful. Wait, let me read that again. Working death in me. It says, but sin, that it might appear. It says, but sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful. Might have to get with the cap to break that down to us, right? But what I get from it is, if something is good for me, like let's say a relationship, this is good unto the Lord, a man and a woman coming together. But either the man bringing in sin to the relationship and making it exceeding sinful, or either the woman bringing in sin to the relationship and making exceeding sinful, that it is harmful. Even though being in a relationship is a good thing, but one end is sinning unto the other, or the other is sinning unto the other, then it becomes exceeding sinful, meaning this relationship is being sinful unto each other. We ain't benefited each other in no way. It's physically, spiritually, or biblically. It's just sin is compelling sin. Like it's a thing that I like to say, lies compound more lies, you know what I'm saying? But that's what it's saying here. Sin is exceeding sinful, meaning it's for sin to keep manifesting this. Well, I don't want to say manifest, because that's the whole spiritual thing again. Right? But it says, but sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good. Like I said, the relationship is good. Man and a woman coming together as one, that's a good thing. But if they come together to create sin and more sin and more sin, then it's exceeding sinful, right? Verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Like I was saying earlier, when people say, well, I don't believe in the Bible, I don't follow the Bible, but I believe in a higher power. The same people that says that they don't believe in this Bible, they smoking weed, they eating pork, they doing the shrimp thing, they doing yoga, they got tarot cards and telling future cards, and you know what I'm saying, crystals involved, sage is involved with these people that says, well, I don't follow that Bible, but I know a higher power. Man, you hallucinating from the drugs. Facts. You don't believe in the Bible, but you believe in higher power. When we just said, then they say, well, I'm spiritual, when we know that's a lie, because we just read what's spiritual. The law is spiritual. So if you're following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, then that's when you become spiritual. Not being under the influence of hallucinogens, which is weed, drugs, any kind of drug. Because if y'all seen somebody under the influence of crack cocaine or any type of powder, heroin, what else? So pills, they hallucinate. It's a hallucinogen. They be all high and they, you know what I'm saying? That type of deal. That's not spiritual. That's hallucination. It's a difference between being spiritual and hallucinating. Like I said, the people that says that they don't believe in the Bible, they don't follow the Bible, but they believe in the higher power, most 10 times out of 10, these people are smoking weed, popping pills, eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, doing something that's against the law of the laws of the Bible, but believe wholeheartedly that they're spiritual. They're not spiritual. They're hallucination. They're hallucinating. They're hallucinating. Trust me, I would know. I would know. But I just wanted to break that down real quick before we got to, because you often hear a lot of people say that they're spiritual when in fact they're hallucinating. Right? They believe in higher power, but they hide themselves. Right? I just wanted to break that down. Y'all can find that in Romans chapter 6. Salaki. Romans chapter 7 and verse 14. For the law is spiritual. The law is spiritual. Nothing else is spiritual but the law. That's how you know that you're spiritual. If you're following the law, statutes, and commandments of this Bible. Right? But that got a little, I got a little sidetracked with that because that's not what I wanted to start the class on. Salaki. Hey, Shalom, how Shamar Alata Bahashim Yawashah. Isupk in the building, right? That's how you know when people, okay, so these are the things you got to watch out for, right? People who try to steer you away from this Bible because it's ultimately a demon on them for doing that. They ultimately want you in the same boat as them. They don't want to go down by themselves, so they try to bring as much people as they can. But if you get into this Bible, if you have a camp leader or a husband that's into this Bible, ask them questions. You have to ask questions, you know what I'm saying? Because how would you know if you don't ask the questions? If your husband can't answer, then he would definitely go to the man above him. The man above him can't answer, it's a chain. It's a chain of command, so to speak, decently in order. But you're going to get the answer to your question. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I wanted to start off the class with. I got sidetracked because certain things occurred in my speech where I wanted to get that. The book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 2. I'm going to wait till y'all get there. The book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 2. Chapter 65 and verse 2. The book of Isaiah. I'm going to wait a few seconds for y'all to get there. And then after that, we're going to go to Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 9. All right. So this is the book of Isaiah. Hold on one second. Sorry. It's not from This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 2. It says, I have spread out my hands all day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. Bam. This is where I wanted to start off at because it's so powerful. I'm going to read it again. What more can you say? We are, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are a rebellious people. Like somebody could be, namely Isupk, could be on the street corner teaching, bringing out scriptures on how we should live, or what pertaining to our people today, trying to help them out this hellhole called America. We could be on the corners teaching the righteous teachings, the truth, facts, things that cut you to the core. And you will say, man, F all that Bible stuff, man. I'm going to smoke this weed. F all this Bible stuff. Well, in Milwaukee, they be like, F all this Bible stuff, man, on the G-Fox. Crazy work. Crazy work, man. They say, man, forget what you talking about, bro. I'm going to eat this pork. I'm going to eat these pork ribs. They was just on the barbecue last night. I'm going to eat that. Well, once you hear the Lord, once you hear the law, that's when your grace clock starts ticking. That's when it starts ticking. And the Lord looks at that. Like, man, okay, the prophets told he or she that this is bad, don't do this, booty boo boo. Let's see if they hearken unto the voice, which is my voice coming through the prophets. We ain't teaching y'all nothing bad. We just trying to tell y'all it's a certain way we have to live, certain things we can eat, certain things we cannot do. But what did Isaiah chapter 65 and 2 say? So like, what did it say? I have stretched my hands out to a rebellious people. My people is so rebellious. I don't know if it's pride involved, if they don't want to look bad in front of a certain person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's hidden agendas within whoever listening to it, but they just do not want to hear it. They want to live how they want to live, how they've been living, which is contrary to the Bible. They selling drugs out here. They want to keep doing that. They smoking drugs out here, whether it be in front of some kids, in front of their own kids. I firsthand, when I was in the world, Salaki, then I know I shouldn't be going personal, but I'm gonna just say a personal thing real quick. When I was in the world, you know, doing all the things I was doing, namely smoking weed, right? Smoking weed with a lot of people in the house, right? Kids will just run in the room while we doing this weed, and these ain't my kids. I will be the one like, man, get these kids up out of here, man. These kids should not be in here while we smoking weed, right? While we doing these things that we doing. That's how I would treat the situation because you know, we in here with parents smoking this weed with parents, so they kids just have to see them 24/7, or kids might already be under the influence and just have to come catch a whiff of it. That's what I always thought. These kids is already addicts. They just have to come in here and smell this weed. That's what I always thought. But these kids aren't mine, and I'm the one looking out for them, telling them to get these kids out of here. That's when I knew that what I was doing was wrong. And you got to see that for yourself. You have to see that. These kids ain't even mine, but I'm the one, man, get these kids out of here while we doing this grown folk stuff. And they'd be like, they fine. 15, 16, 17 years later, the kid's smoking weed now. I wonder where they seen it at. You wonder where they seen it at. They asking you for money to go buy drugs. Wondering where did they get this from? From you. It's a generational curse to smoke weed. Why do I say that? Why do I say it's a generational curse to smoke weed? Because you seen your mother do it. You seen your auntie do it. You was a kid at this time. You seen her having parties and people smoking out the crib, smoking weed in the kitchen, having drinks. Next thing you know, you the new generation, 15, 16, 17 years later, now you smoking weed now. You under the influence. Generationally cursed, man. You have to pick a time to cut these curses short, because smoking weed is a generational curse. Why do I say that? Like I said, you seen the older people older than you smoking weed when you was a youngster. Doing drugs, period, is a generational curse. The 40s and 50s, we wasn't on drugs like that. Only a select few, and not the majority. I say out of 100%, maybe 10% of us was on drugs in 50s and 60s. That's because we were separate from this thing called America. When I say separate from America, we lived in America, but we wasn't going on what America was pushing out. We was fighting joining the army. We was fighting, and I can't figure this out to save my life. Like, why were we fighting to live amongst these so-called white people? I don't get that. To go to these schools that they go to. And who gave it a great big push? Martin Luther King. We should be going to the same schools as them, in the same communities as them. Why? Don't you know that they had us in chains? Okay, I'm speaking as if it's 1960. They had us in chains 20, 30, 40 years ago. Don't you know that? But now you want to live amongst them? Y'all got to do more research, man, on Martin Luther King, man. He wasn't for our people. He realized that when it was too late. I mean, he realized that he led his people into a burning building when it was too late. And he got taken up out of here. We have to we have to separate, man, be a holy people unto the Lord, man. If y'all want to read about what happened to the people that came together, all nations came together, go read the story of the Tower of Babel, Sodom and Gomorrah. It's so many references. That's why America is called modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Why? All nations live here. They trying to get all nations to come together. The homosexual and the lesbian agenda is going on. The do what you want to do agenda is going on. Influencing the kids to be hypersexual is going on. The stealing of our people, the kidnapping. It's so much cases of kidnapping around the U.S. It's ridiculous. But you don't see that on the news nowhere. You don't see that in the local news on CNN. But what you do see is Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. It's a reason why they're distracting you from that. It's also a reason why they stopped talking about that Epstein list. You ain't hear nothing about the Epstein list the whole year. Because why? What you hear in January? Cat Williams on the Shannon Sharp show took over the whole year, almost right into now. Video got like 73 million views. 10 million views a month since January. But you don't hear nobody asking about these missing kids. You don't hear nobody putting a mass search party out for these missing kids. Not only haven't heard about the Epstein list, but you haven't heard about what's going on under the Jewish mosque with them tunnels. You heard that about a week. You heard about that about 1 week. Next week it was on to the Diddy case. So it ain't no telling if that's still going on. Them tunnels under that Jewish synagogue thing, when we already knew they was doing ill stuff to kids and babies with the moil and all that type of deal. Which is crazy. It's a reason why they distracting with it. They pulling out all the distractions, and Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are masters at becoming distracted. Ain't nobody asking about, like I said, the Epstein list. How many celebrities that they push in your face was on that Epstein list? How many celebrities that they push in your face got a hand in these kidnapping these kids? I heard even the police is behind some of these things because there's big money in kidnappings or organ harvesting and all that. And that could be the conspirator in me that's saying that, but that is definitely a fact. You're not hearing about the kidnapping of these people. You seeing it in the grocery stores. If you go in any grocery store across America, Pick and Save, Sam's Club, Woodman's, Aldi, what else? They got the farmers market, Syndic's, and it's more and more Walmart. If you go in, look, it's a wall full of missing children. That's something that should be alarming. But you know what you see every day? Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, 20 V1s. They distract you with entertainment. What you see, baddies, bad girls club, what else? Something else. The Diddy trial. Your favorite rapper getting shot and killed. Like it's so many distractions to distract you from what we should be doing. Like if we not gonna go look for these missing children, if we not gonna put pressure on them to release that Epstein list, if we're not gonna do none of that, the least we can do is come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Like I said, man, the so-called white man, which the white man, the Jewish man, he runs all these networks. He the reason why you watching baddies. He paid for that. He gets paid from that because he wants to show you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman, acting ratchet, fighting each other, acting wild, doing drugs, rumors of you doing drugs, showing your tail on OnlyFans, free of charge. Well, not free of charge. Well, I don't know if it's free of charge because I ain't never went on OnlyFans, but some of these OnlyFans is free of charge. I know that for a fact. He wants you to do this because why did the white man want you to be out of control like that? Because that lets him know that you definitely not following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, which is dress modest. Only your man's supposed to see you naked, not even your kids. If you're around your kids being naked, that's shame on you, man. Your kids not even supposed to see your nakedness. Do y'all understand that? Your body is totally for your husband, totally for your wife or wives. Your kids not even supposed to see that. Because that start putting ideas in their head. You know, and then not to mention these cell phones that they give them to the kids younger and younger and younger. This is able to look up anything that they want to look up. That's why they don't ask the parents, what does this mean no more? What does this mean? They just look it up. 9 times out of 10 is words that you shouldn't know the meaning of at this age. Because you're a child. You can't control these emotions, these hormones that's going on with your body. Puberty, like things like this. I mean, words and certain things are specifically reserved for you to know as you get grown, as you grow up. Because then you will know, well, this means this and this means that. You know what I'm saying? You'll be grown and you'll be old enough to handle it. But a kid is easily manipulated. A kid is easily deceived. It's a kid. It don't know no better. Right? That's why they pushing these things in the media to your kids. They push it to your kids. They get your kids to start bugging you about it. And now you looking like the bad guy when you taking something away from them that they don't supposed to know about or have at this point in age. That's all the so-called white man. That's what he does. He got your kids looking at you like you the bad person, even though you are the protector of them. You're trying to keep their innocence as long as you can. That's the job of a parent. Keep a kid's innocence as long as you can. Because eventually they're gonna grow up. They're gonna have to protect their own innocence going out in these, or they going out to college or going out to a job or workforce. They're gonna have to protect their own self at a certain point in time. But when they're a kid and they can't do it, that's your job, right? And that goes all the way back to how the white man is the devil, because he owns these TV networks. He owns these apps. The ones that your kids got access to, the TikToks, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the Snapchats. Not to mention the late night apps were like it's one called Omingle or something. Omingle, where they actually show and tell on there, like showing behind. You know, these apps, they ban you for showing your behind. I don't know about Twitter, because Twitter is something different. Elon Musk bought Twitter and he made it something different. But these apps that you don't know about, but your kid know about, check them out, man. And it ain't nothing wrong with you taking your kid's phone every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Just checking it out, history, looking at the apps they deal with, looking at the people that they follow. If you want to protect them, that's how you protect them. You know, just hang around. If you got a teenager or something out there, y'all, just hang around them for one day, or for just one day. Go outside with them. If they an outside person, go outside with them. See what they do. See where they hang at. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had a pops to be able to. I wish at the time my pops was there to do that for me. But he was in the system, the jail system. But I'm saying, if they don't go outside like that, just pay attention to what they watch. You will be amazed at what they watch. And I strongly suggest y'all put them cameras up in your home, whether you live in an apartment, a duplex, you own your own home, man. Put them cameras up, man. For real. That's the only way that's the only way that you will have the knowledge to be alert. If you have to work or do anything outside of the home where you have to leave a kid or kids at home by themselves, get them cameras, man. You can hide the camera, so you don't even have to tell a kid where the cameras are. They're kids. If they don't like it, they can wait till they will go to college or get grown and move out, man. It's time to move out. You know what I'm saying? But I just went on and on for a long time. But I'm going to read the scripture that I was saying, Isaiah chapter 65, verse 2. Then we're going to move on to Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9, which is the book of Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 2. I have spread out my hands all day. Slacking. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good. Meaning, that's why I brought out, you might see a UPK school holding camp somewhere, on the street corners. We telling you not to do this. And this just goes for the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We telling you you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Because what you are doing is not good. We out there to save souls, man. We trying to bring you into the Lord's army. Some people just don't want it. They want to live regular. No, I don't want to say regular. They want to live unrighteous outside of this. Outside of this thing that we got going on called the UPK. They want to do it. They just don't want to hear what we got to say. And if that's you out there, man, I think it's time, man, that you make a choice. You either all in or all out. But what I was saying was, they walk in a way that is not good. People walk past the camps. The school, when we out there holding camp all day, especially Chicago, Minnesota, Detroit, San Antonio. These just a few camps that I watch. People walking past the camera all day, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They hear what we saying, but do you think they're applying what we saying? That's what has to happen. You have to apply what we say, because we're not telling you to do nothing bad, but change your life for the good. That's how we showing you brotherhood and sisterhood, and ultimately love at the end of the day, because we want you to live with the for everlasting life. We want you to live, and that's where Proverbs chapter 28 verse 9 finna come into play after this verse. But we want you to live, man. We're not just saying this for no reason. You know? And I'm gonna read that one more time and I'm gonna move on. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 2. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are rebellious. They definitely rebellious. You tell them something, they just got to argue with other than just do it. Like you just rebelling against the Lord. You're not really rebelling against me. You're rebelling against the Lord, and ultimately that's a demon on it. If y'all watch that Commanding General Yohana's lecture in Detroit, Are Demons Real? It was a little, it's a little thing that we was doing when we was out there, right? And I always get sidetracked, but what we was doing was like we'll say something like, say for instance, okay, say somebody getting interviewed, and the person be like, yeah, we just left the Commanding General Hunter's lecture, and if you wasn't there, you had a demon on you. Like we little sayings like that. Like if you're not going to the album release party, it's a demon on you. Like little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But which is ultimately true though. If you wasn't at the lecture, if you didn't see the lecture, it was a demon on you, because that demon is ultimately, he not rebelling against me or you. It's rebelling against the word of the Lord. That's what it really is. It's deep. He not rebelling against what I say, because what I say ultimately comes out of the Bible. He not rebelling against even me, my flesh. He not rebelling against me. And when I say he, sometimes it's she demons, she demons and he demons. But at the end of the day, they not rebelling against me. They rebelling against the word of the Lord. Maybe you just more comfortable with the demon than you are with the word of the Lord. And that's something that we have to fight together. You can't fight. A demon will not be fought with somebody else that has demons on them. You have to fight that demon with somebody that's actually trying to live righteous. Bring that to a righteous man and say, man, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. Only thing that can happen is two things. He gonna try to find out a solution to help you get rid of that demon, or he is gonna be that solution. I want to say men and women can have demons. So a man can bring his demons to his wife or her rib or his rib, and then his rib can bring her demons to her husband and try to hash it out. Because at the end of the day, both of y'all are trying to work together to crush these demons to live righteous. And like I said, man, some people just have demons they know they're demons longer than they've known you. So they probably just comfortable with these demons. And anything that a demon would say is rebelling against you. It's not, like I said again, man, it's not rebelling against you. It's rebelling against the word of the Lord, which comes through you. It just look like they're rebelling against you, but it's coming through you. And the demon don't like to hear that. The person that hear it and say, yeah. But then the demon gonna be in the back of the head like, nah. We got to figure out a way to get that up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You just have to fight. It's all a fight. It's a spiritual fight. You know what I'm saying? But let me. I can't never get. I'm gonna just go through this and then get right to Proverbs chapter 28. All right. I'm gonna stop stopping. Slocky. 1 second. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 2. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. Sometimes it do be that demon in the back of your head that you've known longer than you've known this truth. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that, man. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 29. Y'all out there that's logged in, that's listening to this, man, don't be afraid to say right or that's true, or just put a little comment on there for me if y'all could. It's a lot. Sign in if you haven't too, by the way. We going to Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9. Right? Wait till y'all get there for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? How y'all feeling out there? I know in Milwaukee today, man, it was a scorcher. If I know, because we above Chicago, so I know if it felt like this in Milwaukee, then Chicago, Minnesota, Gary, Indiana, I know they had scorchers as well. I'm talking about in the house, hot in the mud. And I don't know if this is the time that they the little air pockets in the crib. You know how in certain rooms in your house it'd be cold and hot in this room, and that's how it is at my house right now. In my room where I lay down and go sleep at, it's a hot pocket. Like I ain't got no AC, but I got plenty fans in there. But man, them fans, you might as well chalk them up. Fans ain't working, G. It's locky. But this is the book of Proverbs. hold on, y'all. Bear with me real quick. Of course, I'm reading out the Bible. Hold on one time, y'all. The book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse 9. It says, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. Meaning, like I said, if you hear these law, statutes, and commandments, you know what I'm saying, and you don't apply them to your life, you don't what's the word I'm looking for? If you don't repent from your old ways, if you don't turn into that new spiritual person, things is just going to happen to you, and you're going to be like, man, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? Why? That's because you're not applying turning into a new person. You still want to be that old person, or you still want to do the worldly things that you know not to do. You know in your brain not to do these things, but you still want to do it. You still, as a man, you still want to do the drugs, go sleep with another man's wife, or sleep with a woman and leave her, or one night stand stuff. That's against the Bible, man. Having one night stands against the Bible. Even his prayer shall be an abomination. And then we look up abomination a while back. Let's look it up again, because we have to reiterate these things. Let's look it up again. Yeah, I need a new phone too, Israel. Cash App. Hit me in the Cash App, y'all. I need a new phone. It's like, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read this Proverbs again, then I'm gonna read the definition of abomination. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. The definition for the word abomination means a thing that causes disgust or hatred. So if you not following the law, statutes, and commandments, if you still continuing to put these women, to sleep with these women and put them away, doing drugs, even though we showed you, I mean, not doing drugs, but or even that, doing drugs, eating pork, having your kids eat pork, even that, shrimp, crab, and lobster, all of that, and all of the things that you've heard that we said is against the Bible. If you still like leading a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I'm gonna get that one too. But after I say this, if you like having a double mind about things, if you still want to live your old way, even though all you know about all the things that we've said, even your prayer. So if you try to pray to the Lord after you've not hear the law, not understanding the law, not doing the law after that, even though that you know that is law, if you're not doing it, even your prayer is an abomination, meaning a thing that causes hate and disgust with the Lord. The Lord is disgusted with you. He hates you. That's why these mysterious things happen to you. You be like, why is this happening to me? Like you question it. You can't find out why these things happening. That's because you still want to live your old life, even though you heard that that's not the way to live. Even though you heard that you have to change your ways, become a whole new person. So once you say that you not changing into you want to go back to that old person, no sweat. The Lord is disgusted with you after that. Because how can you, after you've heard these laws, statutes, and commandments, how can you go back to the old ways that you live? Right? How can you, right? Your prayer is an abomination. That's what the Bible says. Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. You can't step on the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments and then pray like you spiritual. Like, well, how does that even work? You have to continue this and endure to the end. It's not the end. That's why when Christians, Baptists, they be like, I'm saved. You ask them, well, how are you saved? Because the end hasn't came yet. So how are you just saved? Especially if you still eating this pork and shrimp, crab, and lobster. And it hasn't been the end of America. So how are you saved? This is what you ask your Christian pastor, right? You scrolling, because I know that's something that y'all like to do. You scroll, you see a pastor out there teach the scripture, and you know how they be, they get real animated. God said, I'm saved by the Lord. So, yeah. They get real animated, right? All you do is politely go in their comment section, and I may be stirring up trouble. Hey, so I get to the men above me, but go in their comment section and ask them, well, how are you saved? Hold on, I have to go. Okay. I thought that was that text. Hey man, chill out. But yeah, just politely go in their comment section. Well, how are you saved? Because the scripture says, he that endures to the end is saved with everlasting life. And it's not the end. It's not nowhere close to the end. When it says he that endures to the end, meaning he that keeps, and I know it's tough, but I always say and which is, I always say the facts, which is nothing worth doing, having, or possessing is easy. Enduring to the end is definitely tough. But the Lord wants that. The Lord wants people with tough skin who can endure until the end. You know, people that say, you know, that we read before, I'm spiritual, but they not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They lying. Total lies, right? For facts. These are facts. But, you know, just going, you see somebody preaching online, you know y'all scrolling, they come up in your feed sometime, one time or two times. Just politely go in they comment section and be like, well, how are you saved, sir? Exactly how are you saved? They gonna say, because God said I was baptized in the blood of Christ. I was baptized. I don't start making fun of preachers. So, hey, they can say, well, I was baptized. That's their number one go-to. Well, I got baptized a few many moons ago, right? Then they say that, they'll be like, well, is it the end? Because the scriptures say, he that endures to the end, until the end, shall be saved with everlasting life. Let's get that. Because I don't want y'all to think I'm just blabbling up here. I want to prove all things, right? Okay, we're gonna get that after this though. Because God said, God. Right? It's funny. It's funny, right? I need a pen for this one because I just looked up there and seen it. But let's go ahead and go to that. He that endured to the end. It's in the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew, chapter, I think it said 29. Let's see. 24. The book of Matthew. So meet me in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13. Chapter 24, verse 13, the book of Matthew. And you know, these words are in red, so you already know who's speaking here. It's Locky. Mm-hmm. Wait till y'all get there. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13. Because this is one of the verses that you say, well, when somebody say, well, I'm saved because I got baptized, then you have to ask them, how are you saved? Because saved meaning you could just do, well, it don't mean this, but when you say you saved, you think that you could just do whatever and you automatically saved after you do whatever, which is a lie. Like I said in the beginning of my class, man, we grew up on so many lies that once we hear the truth, it messes with the demon. And lying is a demon that itself. I bet y'all didn't know that. Being told a lie is a demon. The person that's telling the lie, that's how they pass the lying demon to you. They lie to you. Sometimes I'll be thinking my rib be looking at me funny because I'll be telling her the truth on some certain things. That's what I'll be thinking. She be looking at me some kind of way because I'll be telling her the truth on some things. You know what I'm saying? It's a locky to my rib out there. You know what I'm saying? But I just gotta tell the truth. You know, since I was working at Power Products, I've been ruffling feathers with the truth. That was what, 2018? 2018 to, I think 2018. But ever since then, I've been shocking the world with the truth. You know what I'm saying? Right? So I hope y'all are there. I'm about to read it. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end. Like, let me stop right there because these letters are in red, so you know who's speaking, right? The Lord is speaking. But he that endureth, Salakia, but he that shall endureth, Salakia, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That's how you get saved right there. You not saved because you got baptized 4 or 5 times and it won't wash away your sins, which is another lie that the Christian church has taught many of us. Once you get saved, you all your sins is washed away, which is a lie. Your sins get washed away by repenting. Repenting meaning never doing that again. Never doing that thing that you're repenting from. Never doing that again. Never. That's how your sin get washed away. As you learn this Bible, as you hear certain things from the men of the Lord, and you apply those things to your life, you're slowly being pushed to the end. Like you're slow, I don't want to say being pushed to the end, you're slowly coming out of the world. Once you apply certain things to your life that got to do with this Bible, you're slowly leaving this world behind and making in your mind a vision of a new world for yourself. Because once you make something new, you don't want no corruption to be, you don't want it to be corrupted in no way. So you have to refrain from being sinful, right? And you have to endure that until the end so you can be saved. You know, being saved don't mean once you get baptized, you are saved. So now you can just go out, party, dress how you want to, show all the skin you want to, do all the women that you want to and leave them. You can't do that. That's not a part of what the Bible says. That's why it's so important on the women that you court, the women that you make your wife, and the men that you ultimately make your husband. That's where the courting process comes in at. That's why that's so important. That's why in the ISUPK, I immediately understood the courting process. Because when you first get with somebody or when you first talk to somebody, it's all about impressing the other person. You want to impress them, and you know that whole 6 months of all kind of stuff going on, right? But then after that 6 months, you start to see stuff unfold, right? Things you didn't see in the first 2 months, right? And it's up to you. And it's just during the courting stage. That's why courting is so important, because y'all haven't married each other yet, which means sex. Y'all haven't had sex with each other yet. That's why courting is so important. That's why 6 months, then another 6 months. Because the next 6 months is, do I really want to make this person my husband or my wife? And if you're a woman of the Lord and it's a man of the Lord, sometimes it happens. That's when it happens after the second 6 months. Because y'all know each other. I know he gonna follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Then on your end, I know she gonna follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? I'm the lead. She's gonna follow. All that type of deal. Right? That's why courting is so important. Right? Because you definitely want to make sure that this man is, or this woman, this man or this woman, vice versa, going to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. And I don't want to have to worry about them. Let's get the little basics out. As a man sleeping with another man's wife, or sleeping with a woman and putting her to a side. Or as a woman, I don't want to have to worry about her cheating on me. I mean, I say cheating. That's another worldly thing called cheating, right? I don't want to have to worry about her sleeping with another man, or, you know what I'm saying, entertaining other men when I'm her husband, right? That's why the courting process is so important. But back to he that endureth to the end. He that endureth to the end shall be saved. Not when you get baptized and the pastor says, I'll wash away all your sins with this baptism. Hey, talking tongues. When talking tongues do not mean some stuff that can't nobody understand. That's not what that means. That's another lie. Like, we in here in the Isupk, we break down all the lies that you've heard for your entire life. Most of the lies that you've heard for your entire life. We break those things down. Speaking in tongues is not some language or some stuff that you've never heard before. Speaking in tongues is Yahweh Bashim Yashar Brakathum, or Como Te Llamas, Miyamo Kananya. You know what I'm talking about? For all my Isukrites out there. Como Te Llamas, Miyamo Kananya. You heard? See ya hasta mañana. You heard? That will be speaking in tongues, man. Speaking in tongues is not no. They be acting crazy. It's funny, man, because they gotta do all that. Then at the end of that, you know what they say? We gonna pass the bucket over there on that right side. Hit that bucket over that right side. On that left side, get that bucket on back there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna need a couple buckets over there. You know what I'm talking about? Collecting your bread for entertainment. It's a big concert in there. Meanwhile, they didn't bring out no laws, no statutes. It's a big concert. All the women is wearing skimpy skirts, and especially in the front row, like skimpy skirts, tight skirts, tight dresses. Everybody can see the figure of it. The men in there sleeping with all the women in the congregation. It's total corruption, man. That's why I hope y'all realize, man, that the Christian church, the Baptist church, church in general, is not, the Lord is not with the church. Because at the end of the day, they're not teaching no law, statutes, and commandments out there. It's all the feelings. It's a feeling-based organization. As long as they can get you in your feelings and get you in the crowd talking about preach. Yeah, well, yeah, Pastor, right. As long as they can get you in the crowd saying that, they got you. Because once you pass the plate, you're gonna tip generously, which brings me to another law, which is paying tithes. If you got the means, kick out $10, man. $10, $20, you know what I'm saying, a week out of the paycheck you get, if you can. That's another thing that the Christian church says. All the laws are done away with, but they still collect tithes. Tithes is in the Old Testament. So you had a little bit of technical difficulties with the mic. You know, man, I noticed that off top because I can see. But anyways, I can see. But anyways, yeah, they still collect tithes over there. Talking about the laws are done away with, right? Okay, after this, Matthew chapter 24, verse 13, which says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." We got to endure this until the end, man. Be separate from America. America teaches women to take your man or leave that man. You leave that man, right? What was Glorilla fuck nigga free? She always talking about how she's single, then she ain't single. I'm single, but I'm not single. Like, how does that work? Confusion. And who pays for all of it? The Jewish man. The Jewish man pays top dollar to corrupt our youth, our women, and our men. So we're gonna scratch that. We're gonna drop Matthew, and we're gonna go to Psalms chapter 111 and verse 10. Psalms chapter 111 and verse 10. I think Psalms is the biggest book in the Bible. I'm thinking. Psalms is the biggest book in the Bible. It's 111, Psalms chapter 111 in verse 10. Verse 10. All right, give y'all a chance to get there. We're going to the book of Psalms, chapter 111 and verse 13. Right. Let's see what else I got. See what else I got, Israel. Okay, we're gonna end it with that one. Yep. So this is the book of Psalms. Chapter 111 and verse 10. Right? It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever." Let's start at the beginning because that's a good one. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Because once you fear what the Lord can do, like the Lord will have you questioning why something is happening to you. You know what I'm saying? You don't even realize it. But once you fear the Lord, you're going to be careful on the things that you do. You're going to start to obey the law, statutes, and commandments because you don't want the. You can take a man's wrath, right? A woman's wrath, but the Lord's wrath, that's impossible to predict. It's impossible to like the Lord's wrath. I have you just thinking about why is this happening to me? You don't even know where it's going to come from at what time. You know what I'm saying? So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of the wisdom, meaning you're going to be extra careful on what you say, on what you do, and what you tell people and what you influence people by, because as a priest of the Lord, as a man or woman in the Isupk, or as even somebody, even a man or woman who had oil poured on your head, That's an oath unto the Lord, whether you believe it or not. You have to do certain things. You have to do certain things, and you can't do certain things, if that makes any sense. So when, as a man, when you think about stepping out, and you think the Lord's not watching you as a prophet, priest and prophet of the Most High, or as of the Lord, you think the law, you think He's not watching you. He is. He got special angels watching His priests and prophets, meaning they record everything you do, especially if it's unrighteous, right? It's just like I don't know how many of y'all ever heard of Sada Baby, right? He got a song called "A Pimp Named Slickback," right? And my favorite part is when he was like, he say, "Niggas about to start today. Niggas get to talk and be so hard for me to walk away." Like, that's me right there. That little line right there. When people get to talking to me recklessly, it'd be hard for me to walk away, because something got to happen after that. Well, when I was in the world, something would have had to happen after that, right? And I thank the Lord that He hasn't put me in any situation where I had to restrain my hands from putting my hands on people. You know what I'm saying? I praise the Lord for that, because like, I can't even begin to say how I used to be, or how I just on how any type of altercation would have came out if I wasn't in the Isupk, or if I wasn't a priest and prophet of the Lord. I can't say how many situations would have came out if I would have never came into here. That's why I thank Commanding General Yohana for raising me from the dead again. Like, I was dead. I was willing to put hands on anybody. If you was too big, something else is gonna happen to you, right? But I thank Commanding General Yohana and the Lord for giving me that second chance, man, for realizing, man, that this brother got potential, because I feared what the Lord gonna do, and what the consequences from the Lord, from things that I got away with. I feared that. Like, man, even though they didn't catch me, the Lord seen that. That's what I used to always think. And and when I had my time to think, I was working for the park system, right? Meaning I had free reigns. They gave me a vehicle to drive, and just a free field to walk in and pick up things. They gave me a lot of time to think. You know what I'm saying? I thought on it, like, man, I got away with so much stuff. The men didn't see it, but the Lord seen that. So that's what I have. That's why the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I had to learn how to wise up and be like, man, I've been living this way for umpteen years, man. It's time to try something else that's better for me, and better for my nation, and better for the people that I'm around every day. Now, I have to be that example. You know what I'm saying? That's what led me to the Isupk. Not only that, it was the discipline. Like, we needed some, especially the men out here who didn't have no father figure, the men out here who, you know what I'm saying, who just went through life being unguided. Like, this in the Isupk, this is the place where you will learn to be disciplined, and have that structure, and what else? I already said discipline, but I keep saying discipline because that's the biggest thing. Like, you have to discipline yourself from certain things. Like I said earlier in the class too, it's so many influences out here that you have to be disciplined on not going that way, not going this way. Keep a straight and narrow path to the law, statutes, and commandments. And it goes both ways for the men and for the women in here. I know so many people, and what could be the biggest influence to get you to go down the wrong path? People that's not in the ISUPK, people that's outside of this work of the Lord. And that's how, and that's how the devil works. That's how Satan works. He gets on people that's outside of here to try to bring you back outside. Like they're trying to get you, deter you from this special. This is a special thing that's going on here. I never in a million years thought that I could just quit doing something like that. But coming in here, it made me do that. I didn't even think twice about it. One day I was doing it, the next day it was over. And those are facts, man. I never in a million, I tried to quit smoking so many years. It just didn't work until I had a faith of one day, watch Car Chronicles, and the rest was history. The rest was history. And you can, and my rib will tell you that. I watched Car Chronicles one day, asked Cap for the captain here in Milwaukee number. The rest was history after that. I said, man, this is going to be my last week doing what I'm doing with these, with all this and that. It's going to be my last 2 weeks, whatever the case was. Before I came in here, I wasn't smoking. And that's how I know that the Lord had his angels watching me and holding me to my word and pushing me this way. Because I definitely needed a place to go where people was just like me. You know? In the ISUPK is many people, when I say many people, I don't mean all nations. I mean Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of all different type of backgrounds. But they repent from that, and now they change to help their own people come up in the world and lead their unrighteous ways to a righteous path. That's why I got love, so much love for the brotherhood and sisterhood in here, because without this, it ain't no telling where I would be at this time right now. Ain't no telling. But enough about me, right? We at the book of Psalms, chapter 111 and verse 10, because this how I got on this conversation. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. Man, I had to start fearing the Lord. Because, you know, once you think about it, if you was somebody like me in the world who did a multitude of things, and you start thinking about it, man, what if the Lord come get vengeance from there like tomorrow or something? What if this? You start fearing the Lord so much that you have to start doing good. You have to start living righteous after that. Right? Because if you continue down this path, it only gets darker and darker and darker. Would you rather go down a dark path or a path to a light path? And in this light path, you're gonna get people calling you soft. You're gonna get people calling you saying that you've changed, calling people saying that you a new person. Of course I'm a new person. If I was this old person, you think everything that you just said, you think any of that would have flew? As long as you don't touch me, as long as you don't try to harm me or my family or the people that I love, then you good. You can say whatever you want to say, man. Because I know they really don't want these problems, man, for real. Because I'm going to do it in righteousness. Because the Lord is with me on this side. So there's no way you can win against the Lord. And that's how you got to look at things, being in the ISUPK, being a priest, a prophet of the Lord, or even being a sister of the Lord, being a wife of the Lord. That's how you got to look at certain things. If I actually put my all into this, and the Lord is behind me, can't nothing happen to me. I'm totally protected as long as I'm living righteous. Do anything, even demons, as long as I, like I said earlier too, bring the demons to a man of the Lord, and you sometimes, well, definitely most of the time, the demons be so powerful that you can't fight them on your own. And that's where people make the mistake at. Well, I'm gonna deal with this on my own. I'm gonna deal with this on my own. When that's all the demon wants is to get you alone, so it can be louder in your head against the word that the men of the Lord speak against. That's what the demon wants, you alone, so it can be louder in your head against the voice of the Lord. Or not even get you alone. Even if you're not alone, you go into somebody that's not in here, that don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and they demons going to speak to your demons. That's how it works. So in actuality, you're not getting rid of no demons over here. The demons just talking and acting like it is. Oh yeah, the demons act like you've got rid of them. If you speak it to somebody else with the same demons, trust me, I would know. But you have to fear the Lord, man. Because once you fear the Lord, it's nothing that I would do to you that is worse. That's I don't say that's worse. Probably, yeah, as worse. That's as worse. You won't see it coming at all. Mysterious ways. At any time, you could be asleep in your bed somewhere, and then the Lord come with the vengeance, boom, hit you. You be off guard and unprepared. So once you start fearing the Lord, then that's when you have to start changing your life for the better, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's absolutely righteous. Once you start fearing the Lord, start living by the law, statutes, and commandments. Because at the end of the day, everybody already lives by rules anyway. So what would you rather do? Live by the white man's rule in America and not live by the Lord's rule, or just live by the rules of the Lord? But you still have to do the rules of America. Just you're protected spiritually by the Lord. When you live by the so-called white man's rule and not protected by the Lord, it's no telling, your time is ticking over here. When over here, living righteous and living by the Lord and doing the laws of the land, you're good as long as you're living righteous. But over here, you're not living by the Lord and breaking the laws that the white man set up for you, your time is ticking. It's only a matter of time, man. And that's in any way. Like, the Lord comes to people in many ways, man. Through your kids, through the government. Like, it's so many ways I can't even fathom it. It could be through your car. Your tire might pop mysteriously somewhere. It's like mysteriously, you can lose your job somewhere, lose your slave, lose your cell phone, just lose. And you be wondering, man, why is this happening, man? I didn't. That's because you didn't put your all into the Lord. You didn't fear the Lord. You didn't fear the Lord's wrath. I'm not going to do anything. The most I can do is nothing compared to what the Lord can do. Absolutely. It's not even 1%. But let's drop that, man. Drop that, and let's get I was gonna get this. Yeah, I'm gonna get it anyway. Barack. I think it's in the Apocrypha. Yeah, it's in the Apocrypha. Let me just double check real quick. Salakia, Israel. Yeah, it's in the Apocrypha, Barack. Let's get the book of Barack real quick, because this is something that's going on to this day, and it has been throughout history, right? So the Apocrypha, y'all get y'all one and follow along. Get y'all Apocrypha, follow along, man. Barak chapter 3 and verse 8. We'll wait till y'all get there. Barak chapter 3, verse 8. And you spell Barak by Baruch. It looked like Baruch. That's why the English language is broken. Look like Baruch. In school, they would say this is Baruch, low key, maybe high key. Wait till y'all get there. Man, tap in, man. If y'all still in the chat, top what city y'all in, what city and state, and the degrees that it is in y'all city, man. The peak degrees that it was today. Today is August 26th. Type the degrees in, man. But today in Milwaukee, man, it was a scorcher. I'm talking about a scorcher. If you ain't got no AC, it was the same temperature in your house, maybe even hotter in your house than it was outside with zero breeze. Tap in, right? But this is the book of Barak, chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. We still in captivity, man. That's why you see the majority of us, well, I don't want to say majority of us. That's why you see some of us getting gunned down by police. You see us going to jail unrighteously. You see some of us getting evicted. You see Salaki. You see some of us can't get housing. We on waiting lists. You see some of us homeless, right? You see some of us in shelters. We are still in our captivity to this day. You see some of our men being feminized, our women being masculinized. Is it masculized or masculinized? You know what I'm saying? That's because we are still in our captivity today, right? Where thou hast scattered us, the Lord scattered us in the four corners of the earth, right? For a reproach and a curse. It's still a curse on us because why? We still need that 144 in here. Once that 144 wake up, and I mean 144,000, once that wake up, it's raps, man. The Lord gonna crack the sky, come back, and we taking over the earth, man. We still under a curse to this day, though, because we have to get out here and teach our people, man. We are the salt of the earth, which Nazam said last week. And that's absolutely correct. We are the salt of the earth. We are the best of the best. Y'all seen Men in Black when the first Men in Black, when Will Smith went in there with that meeting, he was like, y'all here because y'all the best of the best of the best. That's us. Like now, I'll watch movies with Isupk lens on now. You can, some of y'all, if y'all know my rib out there, y'all can ask my rib. I'll be like, I see certain stuff, I'll be like, that's subliminal. That's subliminal. That's subliminal. Like, I catch the subliminal things of movies now, right? But it says, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers. I mean, our fathers committed. See, and that's the thing too, when we be out on the street teaching at camp, and then the so-called white man come up will be like, well, I didn't have nothing to do with what my father's ancestors did. Like, we all have to pay about what our fathers and our ancestors did. That's why we paying to this day. We didn't physically commit these crimes against the Lord. Like me, Kananya today, I didn't physically commit these crimes that the Lord punishing us for today, but I still have to pay for what my fathers and my ancestors did. So they have to pay for what their fathers and their ancestors did 10 times worse, because they didn't show no remorse. They didn't show no what the word they used. They didn't show no mercy. They just did us totally dirty, right? So they got to pay for that. And it says that's why we are paying today, because our fathers and our ancestors did that. They the ones broke the law, so that's why we have to pay today, right? Which departed from the Lord of our God. Like I said, we got to pay for what our fathers did, which meaning we didn't do this, but that's why we paying today. You know what I'm saying? That's why we is cursed today, and we trying to wake up that 144,000 to lead the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans back to the throne. We lean upwards. We're not going backwards with this thing. That's why the so-called white man has to definitely pay. He's not paying right now. He's ruling the world right now. But this is why the so-called black man has to pay for what he's done, because of what his so-called fathers did to our ancestors. He thought he got away with it, but his sons got to pay, just like we're paying today, right? We still under that curse. We are subject to payments. We got to pay like physical payments of registry. Like we have to register our ID every year, which I'm the same person as last year. How come I got to register and get a new ID every 20 years? Well, not every 20 years, but like, you know, our ID expire every like 5 years or so. Like, why do we have to I'm still the same person. When I'm gonna change into I'm an alien, I'm a shapeshifter. My name might change, the things that I do might change, but my image still stays the same. The only thing that stays the same with me is my image. The image of me, my face and my makeup. Everything else changes. So I'm the same person, but I still gotta get another ID, because I might, like, that's a payment that we are subject to, just like registering a vehicle. This is the same vehicle as last year. It's the year before that, but I still gotta register it. Like, subject to those payments. What else payments we are subject to? Absolutely have to do paying taxes. If you don't pay no taxes, they can come lock you up. You can be locked up for not paying. Paying something that they take out of your check. Then at the gas station, they tax you again. Like, it's totally crazy. But Barack said, we are subject to payments. Those are the payments that we are subject to. That's the curse that we under. That's why getting out on these street corners, doing these classes, meeting people in real life, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we trying to bring the masses in here because we just want to separate, right? Nothing good came from us integrating. Only death comes from that. A bad image comes on us for integrating. Even though the worst image should be on the so-called white man, because he goes everywhere, rape, rob, and pillage the place of the resources. And now they still got a good image on them. How? In America, they used to throw rocks, spit, all kind of nastiness on kids for going to their schools in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. It goes back. But just trying to go get an education at the same school as them, they used to get hit with bricks and boulders and spit on, hose down. I know y'all seen some of them old school imagery where this is the fire department, fire trucks used to bring out the hose and hose us down. Sick dogs on us. And they was the so-called white man. Do you understand that? What have we ever done to deserve that from the so-called white man? That's why the Lord is angry with him. Because he just did these things with no mercy on kids. These is our kids that they doing this to. Right? That's why the so-called white man is the devil. That's why we have to come out of her, which is America. All these made-up holidays on bloodshed. That's why we have to separate from them, man. And the people that's in the world, we just might have to leave them behind because we ain't on the same page, man. They want to continue to go smoke the weed. They want to continue to go party it up, wear dress half nakedness. The media promotes women dressing half naked, tight clothes, revealing clothes. We have to separate ourselves, Israel. That's the only way we're going to be able to come out of this hellhole called America. And with that, this is the Isupk coming out of 1 West, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And we are not affiliated with no other Israelite group, period. I am Officer Kanaya. This is Isupk Milwaukee. Shalom, Israel. I wish I said shalom that they turned on by itself. That would have been so cold. Salakia.